of Southern Alberta. Invest Alberta was established as a Crown corporation by the Government of Alberta to attract high-value, high-impact investment into our province. Since 2020, we have helped investors commit nearly $20 billion, leading to the creation of more than 24,000 jobs in Alberta. Jobs that employ Albertans in growing sectors, such as financial services, agri-tech, manufacturing IT, aerospace, energy technology, and more. We are fortunate to have the opportunity to collaborate with government and partners such as Calgary Economic Development to connect companies with the right people and resources to help position Alberta as a choice destination for investment and streamline the process. Coming together today with our partners to celebrate the impact this exciting investment will have in Alberta is a wonderful way to spend a sunny Wednesday afternoon. I am grateful to be joined by the Minister of Trade, Immigration and Multiculturalism, the Honourable Rajan Sawhney, Brad Perry, President and CEO of Calgary Economic Development, and of course, the Applex Technologies team, represented by Plexus CEO and founder, Sam Matthew. Plexus could have chosen a different jurisdiction, but when you stand up Alberta against any other location, what we have to offer simply prevails. Our province's unparalleled talent pipeline, coupled with Calgary's strategic location and support offered by the Government of Alberta with their unbeatable incentives. Alberta is bold, ambitious, and hardworking, and we make it easy to do business here. And with that, I would like to invite Minister Sawhney to provide details about today's announcement. Minister?
Thank you, Jasmine, and thank you, everyone who is joining us here today. It is such a delight to see you all. Thanks again, Jasmine, for the introduction, and welcome, everyone, to this exciting announcement. Before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the signatories to Treaty 7. I also acknowledge the Métis people of Alberta who have a deep connection with this land. Today, we are gathered at Platform Calgary, an amazing space dedicated to advancing innovation and technology in Calgary and in our province. And we are here today to share another clear example that Alberta's Investment and Growth Fund, or otherwise known as the IGF, and the province's overall economic strategy are yielding results that are growing and diversifying our economy. Today, we are announcing that we have awarded $1.43 million to Plexus Technologies through the IGF. Plexus is a premier global SAP services provider and the first technology company to join the IGF portfolio. What does a premier SAP service provider mean to those of us outside of the tech sector? It means that Plexus uses technology to solve problems for businesses through harnessing the power of data and analytics. Plexus is a US-based company with offices in the United States, the UK, the Middle East, and India. And of all the cities in Canada to choose from, Plexus has chosen Calgary as a location for their brand new Canadian headquarters. In 2021, as was mentioned earlier, the Government of Alberta established the Investment and Growth Fund, the IGF, in order to draw high-value private sector investments to Alberta. Since then, the use of this fund has attracted 7 companies to Alberta. Over $16 million in IGF grants, including Plexus, have been awarded to date. These IGF grants are expected to result in over 700 permanent full-time jobs and 2,000 part-time and temporary jobs and over $1 billion in capital spending in the province. For every $1 million in IGF awarded, over $64 million is being spent in the province. That is a great return on investment in anybody's books. Every time a company chooses Alberta, it is a vote of confidence in our economy, and this one is no exception. When companies like Plexus are determining where they should do business, they look for a number of key characteristics. They want to invest in a jurisdiction that values and actively supports business growth, one that is committed to reducing red tape, one that has an attractive corporate tax rate, one that has a skilled workforce to support their work, and one that has easy access to major markets. And that jurisdiction, obviously, is Alberta. And that is why plexus has chosen to join us. This announcement is good news for Alberta's and Calgary's economy. It is good news for Alberta's thriving tech sector, as my colleague Nate Glubish, Minister of Technology and Innovation, constantly reminds us. And there is no doubt it is also very good news for the 125 employees who will be joining Plexus's workforce. We want to see more companies grow and succeed in Alberta, and given our investment and growth fund, the good work of Invest Alberta and Calgary Economic Development, and Alberta's overall investment and trade strategy, we will see more companies choose Alberta as their destination of choice. I'll now turn over the podium to Sam Matthew, the CEO and founder of Plexus, to share some remarks. And not to put you on the spot, Sam, but I'd love to hear the genesis of the name of your company as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. A good evening to all of you. My name is Sam Matthew. I am the founder and CEO of Plexus. I'd like to start with what is Plexus, right? The Plexus is actually a tailored word between two words called application and plexus. Plexus means an intricate network, so an intricate network of applications. Rather, building solutions is the name of the meaning of the name Plexus. So with that, actually, let me just get into the formal announcement for today. So it's a great honor for me to be in front of all of you today to talk about this announcement, right? Since its inception in 2005, Plexus has come a long way, right? And today marks another big milestone in our growth journey. And before actually we get into it, I think a lot of people don't know about Plexus, and I wanted to let you know, and just to give you a brief background of who Plexus is, right? So when I was doing my engineering, probably almost like 20 years back, right? I was wondering, what do I want to do in my life, right? And when I looked into myself, actually I found that there is one passion that I carry, close to my heart. That was like giving back to the community. So then I thought, maybe if I can form an organization, right, then it could actually be the platform for giving it back to the community. And after a bit of research, actually I found that probably information technology would be a good area for me to start the business. Unfortunately, I did not have any technology background. So I thought I must learn IT before I start something. So I joined in a couple of organizations where I spent almost 4 years, and it helped me learn what technology can actually do for the large organizations, right? And during that time, I have also identified one of my other passion, like innovation with the technologies, right? And so in 2005, along with my better half, I think we started Plexus, founded on the same passions that we carried, the innovation and giving back to the community. Over the course of time, right, we have grown as a global organization, and we are actually known for doing the premier SAP consulting services. Now, there are few factors that attribute to the growth of Plexus, I could say. A few values that we practice diligently pretty much every day, that we make sure that we do the right thing for the customer. The second of it being, right, help our customers innovate and transform through technology. The third thing being driven by principles, right? The principles of the honesty, trust, integrity, and transparency. The fourth being care for our people, care for Plexus. And the fifth being the most important one for us, make an impact in the communities actually we serve. We have set aside 25% of our equity for our employees, right? On whose shoulders we actually stand tall today, right? And we believe in changing lives, and it is actually very close to heart, actually, as I mentioned. So we have actually set aside 10% of everything that we make back to the community for health, education, taking care of elderly, and actually food for the local communities. Right? Today, Plexus is a global organization with a presence in US, the UK, India, Sri Lanka, Canada, and we are also doing business in multiple other areas. But these are the 5 countries where where we have most of our employees are, right? And we are known for delivering business value through digital transformation, leveraging SAP, advanced analytics, and intelligent technologies. As we were expanding our geographic footprint, we were looking at multiple cities, and ultimately we finalized on Calgary, and that's why we are here today. And we felt that Calgary could be our next location to offer technology transformation for our customers in both US and Canada. And here in Calgary, what attracted us to the Calgary, that was actually an interesting thing. Many people, when I have met here, they have asked me. The most important thing I felt is that we found a very welcoming community, right? The second of it being there was a good talent pool, right? There were good, excellent educational institutions, world-class infrastructure and connectivity, to the travel destinations the travel to actually multiple of our customer location was easy. And most importantly, a very, very supportive government, right? And I wanted to take this moment and acknowledge and express my gratitude to the government of Alberta, Invest Canada, Invest Alberta, and Calgary Economic Development, and other agencies who have offered us a channel for us to be here and explore the shores of Calgary. Right? I'm sure that I'm confident that our presence here will help us serve better technology transformation for our customers, as well as we will be able to contribute to the technological advancement of the Calgary and the community over here. With that, thank you everyone for listening to me, and let me actually hand over the podium to Brad Perry from Calgary Economic Development. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Perry, President and CEO of Calgary Economic Development and the Opportunity Calgary Investment Fund. And I want to say thank you to the Minister for this. Thank you to our friends at Invest Alberta. I also want to say thank you to our friends at Platform Calgary for hosting us. Again, Platform Calgary is that genesis for us to drive these kinds of ideas. But lastly, and most importantly, I want to say thank you to Sam and Nitu for their confidence in our community, for believing in what we as a jurisdiction can deliver for them, but also for their principles. As you just heard Sam say, it's incredibly important for us to have companies like Plexus come in and support the community from within. It's not just about coming in and taking talent, it's about growing talent and becoming talent. We know that we have one of the highest labor participation rates in the country here, and we're seeing more and more people become part of our ecosystem with respect to technology innovation. As you heard Sam say, we are going to drive the innovation growth in our sectors across multiple venues here in Calgary. We're going to see $20 billion in our province between now and the end of 2024 invested in digital transformation. And that's why having companies like Plexus support that growth is so important to our community. At Calgary Economic Development, our job is to help position Calgary for long-term economic success. And companies like Plexus and the Ministry and Invest Alberta are the ways that we'll get there. We won't do this without collaborating, and I think this is a prime example of how every level of government can collaborate to drive that growth that we need. So again, congratulations, Sam. Thank you for being here, and thanks for coming out, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll now go to the phone lines for questions. No phone lines right now. All right. Any on the floor? Any questions from the floor? One question, one follow-up. Go ahead.
Hi there, Aaron with Live Calgary. Question for Sam. What's the timeline for hiring those 125 individuals, and what are the wages going to be?
So our plan is to hire the 125 people in the next, according to the paperwork we have filled, it was actually 5 years, but that is a conservative one. We are looking to actually hire that people probably in the next 3 to 5 years, I would say.
Follow-up? Nope.
Hi, this is a question for Sam again. My question is, how can local businesses reach out to you to offer your services?
Can you repeat your question once again, please?
How can local businesses reach out to you to have your services?
How can local businesses reach out to
Plexus.
Plexus? Okay, so we are actually looking out Calgary to be the headquarters for Plexus Canada operations, right? So we are in the process of actually setting up an office. We already have actually taken up some shared spaces, and there will be a physical location, and we would have actually our staff here. We have, I think apart from that, we have access to, I think like the website, the phone lines, and everything. I hope I am answering in that way, right?
Well, let me supplement that answer. I will definitely make sure I facilitate introductions with the Plexus team for any local businesses who are interested in connecting.
For sure. No, I'm done.
All right, any more from the floor?
Hi, just a question for Sam. Scott Dipple from CBC here in Calgary. Can you just tell us a bit about your company's business and presence in Canada right now, or is this all new?
Canada is not new for us, right? I think we had people in Canada for almost a year and a half, I would say. We are an SAP consulting and solutions organization. By nature of it, with which, right, I think we need highly talented consultants. We have been hiring in Canada for the last year and a half or so. We currently have 15 to 20 people in Canada, multiple locations. Right, many of them are in the Toronto area. We have 4 or 5 employees here in Calgary now, and we are expecting more people to come down here, and we are actually trying to attract talent from the other places from other provinces of Canada, as well as hire locally from here.
Okay. And I had a chance recently to have a chat with Brad. I think there's some empty space over here downtown. Is there any part of Calgary that you're looking at, like downtown, or you started keeping an open mind right now?
Yes, actually, currently we have taken up our shared space in the Ampersand building, and we are actually looking for more spaces within the Calgary itself. Tomorrow, our team is actually planning to tour a bunch of facilities, and we are actually looking to actually take up a space of around 4,000 to 5,000 square feet, if possible, in the next couple of weeks. That can take in 40 plus employees there.
Great. And if I could just ask you one other thing,
sure.
And that would be in terms of your Canadian operation or your Canadian headquarters. Did you look at other places, or did you happen upon Calgary first and you said, I go no further?
Very interesting, actually. I have taken a tour to multiple cities, but before me, Dan Ratchford, who heads our Canadian operations, have actually spent probably maybe more than 6 months researching on multiple cities. We have visited a lot of places, and we have finally settled on Calgary's. Yes, we have visited actually multiple places and compared a lot of different places. We, I said before, there were actually several factors we have considered in. Every city was good in one way or the other, but finally we chose Calgary for the reasons that of the community, the talent availability, the connectivity and infrastructure, and the government support was phenomenal. So it was very differentiating for all together. So I think all together that actually made, and I would also say that Calgary is one of the the few cities who have offered to invest, offer a grant, right? That actually help ease the initial setup, investment, and all those things actually that is required. So I'm really thankful to all the decision makers who were actually part of this, and that even though that was not the determining criteria, that actually I would say that it actually has made our decision very easy at the last.
Wonderful. Is there any further questions from the floor? Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to introduce myself for my first question. I'm Irene Tagama from SAIT News File, which is run by students at SAIT. My question will be either for the minister and for the CEO of the Calgary Development Center. My question is, like, what did lead your decision for a plexus to come here and build their company here as well? Like, how did you guys manage to keep that decision and open a plexus to have their location here in Calgary?
So I'll start with the answer, then I'll invite Brad to supplement. So with the Investment Growth Fund, the applications that I have signed off on, including a plexus who we're announcing today, included metrics like what are the job creating metrics? What is the investment going to be in the province? And how will it benefit Albertans and taxpayers? So there are a number of guidelines and each application is unique, but certainly a plexus fit the bill in terms of creating over 125 jobs over the next 5 years and possibly even more. And of course, it is a significant investment in our province. Brad?
I would certainly echo the minister's comments, and I would add that for us, it's also what the driver was as Chelsea and the team spent a lot of time with the Applexus team, is understanding their principles, as you heard Sam talk about. And once we started to understand how they value the communities they move into and what they support and they invest back into the communities and help retrain, it was a no-brainer for us to really go after them and really make sure they understood the value proposition and the advantages they had to be in our province and our city directly.
For sure, like I have no follow-up. That's all.
Wonderful. Okay, if there's no further questions from the floor, we'll wrap up Media Avail. Thank you very much for everyone for attending. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Well done. Yeah, let's do it. Should we go on? Let's